Hello, my name is Travis Newbill. I live and work here at Shambhala Mountain Center, where we're really excited to be hosting a special program later this summer that is called Opening the Good Eye, an Introduction to Miksang Photography. That's going to be led by Michael Wood and Julie DuBose. And I'm really pleased that we have Julie DuBose here on the line for some discussion today. Julie began her study of Miksang with Michael Wood in Halifax in 1998. She's been traveling and teaching with Michael since 2000 and is a teacher of all Miksang levels. She founded the Miksang Institute for Contemplative Photography in 2009 in Boulder, Colorado, and Miksang Publications in 2012. She lives in Lafayette, Colorado, just down the road from Shambhala Mountain Center, and has recently published her first book. I guess it came out last spring, actually. Effortless Beauty, Photography as an Expression of Eye, Mind, and Heart. Julie, thank you so much for taking some time to have some discussion today.
My pleasure.
So for folks who have had no exposure to Miksang or haven't heard anything about it, what would you say, how might you briefly sort of describe it? What is it as a discipline?
It's an approach to seeing, perception, and particularly direct perception, how to train to be able to have very vivid and direct and penetrating experiences of seeing and expressing them exactly as you see them with your camera. So it's photography, and it's mind, and it's sometimes called meditation with the camera. It's how to really have great visual experiences, very, very real, very immediate, and understand them and express them.
And one thing that I've heard you say about Miksang previously is sort of emphasizing the sense of ordinariness, that it's not so much about chasing down the really most peak, exciting moments of our lives and capturing those somehow, but more relaxing into sort of the beauty of our world that's sort of around us all the time. Is that, does that sound right?
That certainly is a good description, yes. In this kind of photography, the emphasis is really on the experience of seeing. And one of the ways that we typically don't see is because we have so many ideas and concepts about what we're looking at, whether or not it's worthy of photographing, if it's special enough, if other people will think it's a great photograph. So the very first thing we do is we start taking a look at those kinds of barriers to taking photographs in our ordinary environment. I mean, because there's a lot of incredible things happening all the time around us that we just basically tune out. Either we're self-absorbed in our own thoughts, we're not paying attention, we're not available and looking out, we're just basically self-absorbed or distracted. So we take a look at that, work with that.
And being self-absorbed, what comes to mind for me is a lot of stressors coming up. Is this going to go well? Is this not going to go well? Is this like, am I going to get fired? Or am I going to get that thing? Or all these sort of mental distraction occupations. How is Miksang a training for some relief from that?
Well, like when you first learned to swim. Of course, most of us were small, so we were just coming out to see what it was going to be like, and we were pretty excited about having a new experience in water, which is something that everybody wants to swim. So we go out there and we jump in the water, we feel the water, we get used to the water, we have an experience of water, and then we start learning how to swim, and it's pretty much one arm over another, feeling the water, figuring out how to keep our head above water, finding out how to balance, finding out how to not get a mouthful of water, all these kind of really simple experiences. This is very much like what we do in Miksang. We just kind of start at ground zero, where we just learn how to be open and present in a very simple body, mind, just enjoying and relaxing in the space, and just opening up so that we can receive our perceptions rather than, trying to hunt them down or find them. And we just try to get back to a really simple way of being. And from that stage, we can actually receive perceptions and start to invite them and be available to connect to them. So it's just like swimming. It's a very good, I think, analogy for this, because when we get into that water, we feel like that water is part of who we are. It's part of our our chemical makeup. We swim in it. We can feel at home in it. And this is the same way. Being relaxed and open and available is part of who we are. It's part of the way we've been in our lives before. We just take to it like a fish takes to water. The only thing that gets in the way is all of our ideas, and we just sort of work on letting those gently, just letting them go, and just kind of staying here and just continuing to pay attention to the world around us.
Just read this Alan Watts quote earlier today, and paraphrasing it, sort of like at the end of the day when somebody says, "Oh, how was your day?" And maybe you have a couple of highlight moments to report. He's like, if you actually experience the sort of the miracle of every moment in your perceptions and how unfathomable all of that actually is, that your answer to that question would always have to be like, I can't even begin to explain, because it's all still happening now. So you can see how Miksang as a discipline, sort of like you have like a byproduct of it are these images that you come away with, but then on the other hand, it's a training to just tuning into the subtlety that's always happening. So it's like you have sort of one actual product that other people can see, and then just this ongoing sort of experience. It may change people's way of being.
It does. It opens people up. It opens us up, all of us. It makes us more willing to be on that front line of experiencing things as they really are, and not being judgmental, but just seeing them as they are and appreciating them. And it really affects our ideas about beautiful, ugly, pleasant, unpleasant, all of those things. We develop a sense of equanimity about what we're looking at, so we're not always rejecting, accepting, and ignoring. We kind of really start to relax that whole buffer zone, and the result is that we experience our whole lives much more vividly, and also in a more kind of, our hearts are more open as well at the same time, because we're participating in our day-to-day experience fully. What that looks like, I mean, I can say yes, we'll see wonderful things and joyful things, that we have joyful experience that we've never had or never allowed ourselves to have. But it's also about being more fully involved in our relationships and feeling more that we can express ourselves with genuineness and confidence without being afraid. So it's just all of it. It just sort of opens up everything.
Is there a point where taking the photographs may take you out of direct experience, like some sort of filter or extra activity?
The way we teach this, no. Yes, definitely it could. If you get, it is always possible to sort of get off track and start thinking about, well, how can I make this better? how can I, what can I include in what I saw isn't really interesting enough. What else can I include in it to make it a better photograph? I mean, that part was once you see something to when you actually press the shutter on the camera. There's this big gap there where you could either stay connected to the perception and not get stuck in thinking about how to make it better or whether everyone's going to like it, or you can just stay with very simple perceptual questions about the perception itself without straying. And then the experience of seeing is actually locked into the photograph and comes through purely through the photograph, to the expression with the camera, to editing it, to looking at it, to sharing it with your friends. You don't allow any kind of wanderingness to come in and basically dilute the directness of the experience and the expression of that experience. We teach all of this in our courses.
Mm-hmm. And that sort of intention carries through to the phase where you are presenting the photos and sharing the photos.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
in the age of Instagram, like everybody is, really share crazy, and so maybe kind of interesting to examine that and how maybe we do that in a more mindful and pure way.
It's really important, the aspect of deliberateness and paying attention and keeping your seat and not getting all excited and your mind's running away with you. It's all about stillness and settling in your mind so that you're just fully present and relaxed and open. And that goes all the way through to first having the perception and then understanding what it is so that you can photograph it exactly as you've seen it, and then shooting it, and then editing it. You still don't go off. You still stay with the perception, and then viewing it all the way through. You have to just stay still and rest your mind in stillness. It's very important.
And you said that you'll be guiding people, yourself and Michael, through this, the entirety of the process in the program when it comes around. I wonder if there's anything else, any specifics or anything that you might like to say about this particular retreat that's coming up in September.
Well, we have taught at Shambhala Mountain Center for a number of years now, and it's always very special for us, and I think for the students as well, because it provides a container where everyone can just relax. There's it's not a crazy environment with a lot of distractions. People are meditating, they're going about their daily work schedules, and then we have the wonderful opportunity to just wander around and do our assignments, and it's very spacious, and the atmosphere up there is deeply contemplative, and that helps people really relax into the discipline of photographing in this way. And we've had a lot of people come back over and over again for courses after first coming to SMC. It was a great place, wonderful atmosphere, very nice people. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of very nice people who are really looking forward to hosting yourself and Michael and all the participants when the time comes around. So I'd like to encourage anybody who's listening or watching this interview to go to our website, shambhalamountain.org, and you can find Miksang, Opening the Good Eye, an Introduction to Miksang Photography, under the Programs tab. Scroll down and learn a bit more about it, and you can decide to come up. It'll be beautiful here in September, and just spending some time in the land. It's always a healthy thing. So, Julie, thank you so much once again for joining us today.
And I want to mention one other thing. If you want to know more about what we do, go to our website, miksang.com, miksang.com, and you can find out more information if you want to know more first.
Thank you for mentioning that. And I'll mention once again also to check out Julie's book, Effortless Beauty, Photography as an Expression of Eye, Mind, and Heart. I assume that You can get that on the website or through Amazon.
You can get it on Amazon or the effortlessbeautybook.com website, either one.
Cool. So please check out that, folks, and especially just to see some images.
Yes.
We talk about this a lot, but to see the images sort of, brings it to life quite immediately.
That is correct. Yeah. You really, once you see it, you'll understand more what I'm talking about.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and please stay in touch with our website and social media so you know when more of these discussions are coming up. We'll see you and hear you, or you'll see and hear me next time. Bye.
All right. Thank you.